everybody, and welcome to another brand new edition of T Watches a Scary Movie. My name is T, and of course, we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new episode. Remember, new eps go up every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But as I'm always putting out extra horror content throughout the week, the best way to stay on top of everything that I'm dropping for you guys is to get subscribed to my Linktree. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you go to my Linktree, that's going to give you access to my YouTube page for the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms for the audio-only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for my written reviews and my movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content including movie news, movie premieres, me trying to be funny if you think I'm actually funny, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy my discount on everything Fangoria has for sale, including subscriptions to the physical magazine. Folks, you're not going to want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button, because the more subscribers that I have, no matter what platform that you're on, the more content that I could bring out to you, reviews, interviews, giveaways. And speaking of, I still have my Ghostbusters Frozen Empire giveaway going on right now. If you go back and find my review for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, let me know in the comment section who your favorite Ghostbuster is and why. That's all you got to do for a chance to win a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man drink holder or a physical copy of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So head on back there. I'm going to do those drawings in just a couple of weeks. You're not going to want to miss it. But speaking of reviews, tonight in movie reviews, I got early access to a film that I'm excited to talk to you all about. Tonight we are discussing New Life. That's right. This is one that I walked into completely blind, but was given a chance to check this out before its release in the UK on June 3rd. So we're going to go ahead and discuss it here right now. Now, if you haven't seen the trailer for New Life here before, this tells the story of two women on a collision course with each other. One woman on the run for murder who is going to encounter a number of different people in her life. They're all looking out for her and finding a way to help her out. And she'll unfortunately find a way to touch their lives in the not most positive way when things are all said and done. And the woman in pursuit of this one who is dealing with her own complicated situation that's beginning to arise in her life. These women are on a path to each other, and we get to see their stories play out on the way. Now, this is one, again, like I said, I had no information on before coming into it. And so going through the first 20 minutes of John Rossman's story, who wrote and directed this film, I had a very different expectation of what this movie was going to be about, honestly. Again, they set it up that one of our leads, Jessica Murdoch, played by Haley Aaron, is on the run for what she believes is a murder. And we've seen a lot of these stories played out before, to where somebody believes that they've committed a crime and that their punishment that's awaiting them is much, much worse than what they could ever think in the first place. So it doesn't occur to them to stop and get more information and maybe figure out exactly what really is going on. And so we are sympathetic for Jessica. We see her encounter all these different characters throughout the film, in which she is very nice to. She's trying to garner some trust. We clearly see that she's not easily trusting of anybody. And as we're shown some of the situations she's had to deal with in her past regarding why she's on the run in the first place, we can very much understand why she's hesitant to trust anybody that's even offering her a helping hand. But she does come into the lives of all these different people, and it's kind of like all these people she encounters sees a little bit of themselves in her as the reason why they're helping out, whether it's this elderly couple who gives her a place to shower and a nice warm meal, or whether it's the bar owner that gives her a place to stay and a few drinks. Everybody seems to see a little bit of themselves in their interactions with Jessica. And again, it does seem like there's some kind of positive effect that they're getting from it, but unfortunately, when we see the back half of what's going to happen from them having this encounters with her, it's tragic. It becomes a very, very tragic tale. And that goes more onto Elsa's story, because from the jump when we meet Elsa, we learn that she's dealing with ALS. She's at the onset of her battle with this disease, and it's a disease that very, very much moves moves fast, and it's a very, very scary disease to live with. And I thought that was an interesting storytelling choice, because I do feel that in a lot of stories that we see that might have the same kind of content in it, that a lot of filmmakers would go for something that, I don't want to describe it as a sexy disease. That's inappropriate and doesn't really get the point across I'm trying to make. But maybe something that is a little more desensitized, to where if we hear it, we have like a little bit of sympathy, but it doesn't really take away from the story that's at hand. And I feel that by giving Elsa Gray, played by Sonya Walger, giving her this disease of ALS, it kind of already ups the ante of what our character here is going to be dealing with, because this is the disease that in the last 15 years has gained quite a bit more notoriety. A lot of us know somebody that's been touched by ALS, and we've kind of seen it play out how debilitating this disease really is, and that it's a crippling one it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And I think that adding that to our lead character, while she's still on the hunt for this person who potentially is going to kill a lot of people, I think it really does add some palpable terror to the story itself, because we know that she's our front line in this. Even though she'll say all to the contrary, we know that Elsa is really our front line to stopping what's going on from going any further, but she's dealing with her own constraints at the time, and that means every time she's in a situation where her life's at risk, we're worried even more at that point, because we know that she has some limitations that her body is just not going to let her get around. And I thought that very much upped the tension in a lot of spots where it might not be there in the first place. And again, like, the first 20 minutes gives you such a different idea of what this story is going to be, that once it's revealed and you see that this story has more in common with movies like 28 Weeks Later or Outbreak or Contagion or Carriers, then the story shifts and it starts to get even more horrific and more terrifying as you see the scope of everything that's really going on. And we absolutely sympathize with Jessica Murdoch and her plight and everything that she's dealing with, but it doesn't stop the fact that her journey to see the world, to get away from this situation that she was in, has put a number of people in danger and will continue to put a number of people in danger. And I think the one thing that could be said about this film, and it's nitpicking because I get it, that's the way the story needs to be told, but the fact that if more information was being shared from these characters, then the situation for the movie existing wouldn't exist in the first place. You know, if somebody just stopped to say, Jessica, this is what's going on, you need to listen so that everybody can be okay. If that was done, obviously we wouldn't have a movie here, but it's also a bit of a nitpicky complaint that I have because of the fact that there probably was a better way to go around that. And it's one specific scene earlier on with Elsa and Jessica that I think kind of compounds my frustration with that one point. Like, if that scene was missing, then I feel that I don't really have a lot of issues with that nitpick. At that point, it doesn't exist and it's not a problem, but that one scene compounded my problems with that. This is not going to be as white knuckle tense as some of those other films that I named. Like, this is at a slower pace than a lot of those other ones, but there are going to be some elements from those that are going to hit hard and heavy once you reach them. So don't walk in expecting to see, rage-filled zombies walking around or anything like that. Again, there is some excitement in this film here for sure, but it's going to handle that part of the story very, very differently than a lot of these other ones. And the very interesting thing about this is that I say 28 weeks later, as we're getting this new trilogy that's about to begin filming any day now. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, to have Danny Boyle bring in the writer-director John Rossman on that third film, because this really serves as like an audition for like the 28 Days like franchise, honestly. And whether he wants it or not, Rossman has a great voice for these kind of stories, honestly. And if I was Danny Boyle, I would absolutely make use of those talents. That's just me. That's just me. Again, the character work in this is phenomenal, and Rosman does such a good job with the script to where, as long as you're paying attention to every little piece of information that he gives out throughout the story, it's gonna wrap back around at a certain point, including the ending, which I thought was so well done, because I think some people will see that ending and immediately forget, you know, what the entire movie was about in the first place, and that's gonna catch them off guard when we finally hit the credits. And I thought that was so well done, because I didn't forget, and I was like, well, wait a minute, that, like, literally a scene before I was thinking, yeah, that's the end of this. This is all done at this point. We get this other scene, it's like, so that didn't change what I just thought. Now, like, this is still really, really not good at this moment. And I can't say anything because 10-year rule on spoilers for movies, y'all. But you gotta go and check it out for yourself. I'm so curious what you thought of this film, honestly. It's a great debut by John Rossman. Sonya Walger and Haley Aaron absolutely kill it as the leads of this film. And while it's not as exciting as movies like 28 Weeks Later, or again, something like an Outbreak, I think that the slow, quiet moments in this film stand out for itself and make it a lot stronger than what you're probably expecting. Again, New Life hits the UK on June 3rd, but if you're in the States, you can check this out right now. It's available for rent and purchase on most digital platforms. Folks, hit that subscribe button because that is going to do it for me tonight. Remember, I still got looks at the ongoing season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. We're talking In a Violent Nature, A Quiet Place Day 1. We got so much great stuff coming up for y'all here over the coming weeks. You're not going to want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button and hit like if you like the review, folks. That's it for me tonight, though. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.
Boy here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022, and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription, or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.